So how you doing, guys? I hope you are all having a wonderful day. Today back on my desk, I figure I'd do a video on these two guys. I wasn't gonna do separate videos for Soundwave and Ravage. These two guys are part of the Studio Series line of the Transformers Bumblebee movie specifically. So these are the boxes. Again, your standard packaging for both of them. I really do like the artwork that they include on the sides for both Soundwave and Ravage. And I had to do these two guys together because, well, pretty much they've always been sort of paired up together in even this movie or the cartoons, etc. Here's the actual product shots in the back for both of them. For this guy, there is a background here, but you don't get the standard background, I guess, that you could use, with the whole little stage presentation thing for Ravage. I'm not necessarily going to keep this box, but for Soundwave, you do get, if it's something you wanted to use for toy photography or whatever it may be, you do get this stage here. I know I've seen some folks that do keep these. That's how they display their figure. I am not. I'm probably going to end up tossing this, but it's something really cool that they include if you want to, just display them like that. Really cool stuff. So next we'll move on to the actual figures. Okay, so here we are back with the actual figures. And you know what? Let's start off small. This Ravage, it's a pretty cool figure. You guys can see the details. You also get the two guns back here, like the original toy or figure. You get this little, I guess, part here that's supposed to be like a rocket launcher. One thing that happened to mine, and I have to decide what I want to do, is it's missing the there's supposed to be like a little rocket gun thing that goes down here. It was not in this box. Matter of fact, there's actually a place where the plastic tab that holds it in there is there, but the weapon's not there. So I don't know if I'm going to reach out to Big Bad Toy Store and maybe get a replacement, but it's such a small part. I don't know if it bothers me enough. And this is the part I'm referring to right here, this little rocket gun part that goes underneath his torso. So I don't have that right now for this review, but I really do actually like this guy. Reminds me a lot of, again, Ravage from the cartoon. I like the red and white with the insignia. Those colors actually remind me of Laserbeak, who was the, I guess, the bird that came with Soundwave. But overall, this is a really cool toy. The tail is articulated. The legs obviously move back and forth. They do move slightly in and out for posing, not too much. The front one's pretty much the same. The feet right here. But overall, and I like that they included those details in the head. And his mouth, those open and close. So here it is closed, here it is open. This is a really cool figure in this mode. I'm not too crazy about what he transforms into, but we can go over that later. But really cool figure. I think this is definitely really cool. What I would just say, if you buy these in a store or if you get them, there is no plastic cover here anymore. Obviously, I think they're trying to do away with using plastic, but I would just be really careful that you look inside and make sure that all the little parts that go into this guy are in fact in the box, so that you don't wind up like me missing the cannon part or handgun part that's supposed to go under here. These things come in separate in the box, so they're really tiny. The gun parts right here, those are separate, and then also this little part right here comes in separate. So you have to, like I said, just make sure if you see this at a store and you want to get it, that you make sure that all the little parts are in fact in there. Otherwise, this mode's really cool, really representative of the old Ravage toys and figures. That's what I like about this Bumblebee movie line, is they've done such a great job with paying homage to the previous figures and the cartoon, etc. And while also modernizing the figure for a new audience. Really cool. And then here we have Soundwave. This guy really surprised me. He is a pretty big boy, a bit chunky, which is great. I was expecting him to be a little smaller, I guess, because I had been used to Braun and the other two Wheeljack that I have from this same line, and they're fairly small. So when I got this guy and I opened him up, I was like, wow, he is pretty tall. And we'll do some comparisons later on. You do get a his gun. So it's a nice, almost like a rifle. It's funny to see this being held like one-handed, but it's pretty cool. Some nice details there in the gun. You guys could see that. The I guess his launcher here. This is also a separate piece. You have to tab it in the back here. If I could pull it out, there you go. So here's that launcher shoulder cannon part. Again, some nice detail. The blue, it's pretty much a dead-on match, at least for the other sound waves that I have, and pretty much matches with what was in the movie and then also the cartoon. Like I said, there's a tab here, and you can put this launcher on either side because there's a section for it on the left or the right. So that's something you can do depending on how you prefer that. As far as the toy itself in this mode, it's really, really nice. Again, another great job for this line. You guys could see them there. That's pretty much Soundwave, just modernized, updated for, the Bumblebee movie. It's really cool. The blue, again, matches. It's like a dead-on match for the older Transformer toys of this guy. The white, it's really cool. I think the way they mix things up, grabbed from the old design to make this new one. Like the face is pretty much right like Soundwave. Really cool with the painted red eyes. It did kind of seem like they were trying to have some light piping, I guess, but just because this is clear back here, but no light piping because the eyes are painted red solid. As far as articulation, his arms do move up like this. That's part of the transformation. Obviously, you can rotate his arms. It's got the elbows. The hands are unfortunately just stuck in this one way and they don't rotate. They do go in and out, but that's part of the transformation. You have to move a thing back here to get the hands to go back in, which I thought this was actually really cool because a lot of times due to transformations and Transformers, Hasbro will just leave this section hollow, for you to fit the hand in there. I think in this case, it's great that they've included like a cover so it's not hollow when you transform the guy. He does have waist articulation. You can fully rotate the waist, with the caveat being that you have to move this skirt part up because otherwise, you can't move it with the skirt in place. Legs, there you go, full split. Really cool. We can move the arms. Here's 90 degrees. Sorry, the legs 90 degrees. There is some ankle tilt, a lot of tilt, but again, that's due to the transformation, and the feet do fully turn, so he can get posed in some nice poses if that is your thing. Again, the thing that strikes me the most was the size of this guy. I think they did such an awesome job with how big, and it's got a good presence. And then the cool part too is that this guy, Ravage, can fit inside of here once you transform him. So it does open. It's like spring loaded, which is really cool. It's got a nice feel to it. You guys could see it. And again, this is where Ravage would go, and like they show you in the movie or in the previous iterations or cartoons, Ravage kind of goes in there and Soundwave says eject and Ravage goes out jumping. But really cool again. This line just done such a great job of taking these old designs and modernizing them or changing them just enough that they look different, but someone who's into, I guess, G1 Transformers can definitely look at this and say, okay, that's Soundwave. Again, this toy looks good from all angles. Robot mode is definitely where it's at. You guys could see there's a lot of detailing in the panels, the legs back here, in the back, the front. As I said, his face here is just great. Yeah, really cool. Here's the skirt, the front skirt, and by the waist, a lot of detail there with the painting. Really cool figure. Again, the robot mode where it's at is where it's at. The reason why I say that is because I've transformed this guy in his transformation some kind of tank mode. I've seen sketches of that tank mode, and I think it looked cool. I don't know that they've been able to have the tank mode in practice look really good. It's probably, I would say, one of the negatives aspect of this figure is the alt mode. It doesn't look like anything I would do. And then the same thing also applies for this guy. Now, obviously, you can't transform Ravage into a cassette. Nowadays, people don't know what the heck a cassette is. But perhaps something a little more useful. He literally just transforms into a little box for storage inside of a Soundwave chest. So, not huge complaints in this guy. But for Soundwave himself, I really wish they would have done a different alt mode. But there you go. Really cool Transformer toy. I'm not gonna go through the transformation, but I'll do a cut to when he's transformed in his robot in his alt mode. Okay, guys. So real quick, before we move on the transformation for this guy, here's Ravage in his alt mode. Again, I don't know if this is much of an alt mode as a storage mode. It's literally just a nice little box that he transforms into. You do have to take off his guns here because they're not going to fit. And the little part that was up here on his back now goes on his belly. Turns into a neat little box. The whole point of this is that he actually does fit in Soundwave's chest. So essentially, once you have him transformed, you can pretty much just work him in there. And he goes in. As you guys can see, he fits in pretty well. Closing the lid's a little tight, but there you go. So he does fit in there. If that's something you want to display him like that. And then the door does open. It doesn't get stuck. It just takes a little to close it. Now, to get this out, I do have to, on my end anyway, move this back part out and just slightly push it out. But just wanted to show that in case anyone's interested, he does fit. Real quick, here's the alt mode for Soundwave, and this is my assumption, or at least from what I saw, is he's supposed to be some kind of tank, and you can attach his guns to the side here if that's something you want to do. So it looks like that. I'm not crazy about this alt mode. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. I think you know, they, like I said, I saw sketches for this thing, and it looked good on paper. I think in practice, I don't know that they pulled it off well at all. He's kind of just sitting, and a lot of the things, at least on mine, don't tab in pretty well. This is not a very inspired alt mode for me. But there you go. If that's something you want to do or you're interested in, that's what it looks like in alt mode. Okay, guys, so real quick, some comparisons before we finish the video here. Here's the Bumblebee movie Ravage. Here he is next to the Netflix Soundwave figure. This Ravage, that's what he came with. You guys could see him there. Pretty similar, right? Toy. The other one was the Ravage that came with the Masterpiece Soundwave. You guys could see them both together there. Pretty similar in size. I always thought this Masterpiece Ravage that came with Masterpiece Soundwave, his neck was a little too long and lanky. This one transforms into a proper cassette tape. So if that's your thing, you know, you're going to like that one better. This one's not so bad. I love the, obviously, the Jaguar mode or Ravage mode. You know, so that's kind of cool there. So you guys can see the transformation, the comparisons there. So here's all three. That's a little army of Ravage. So we'll move them aside. And then as far as comparisons for Soundwave here, let me just fix the camera for a sec. So the first one that I have here is, this is Siege Soundwave with all his battle damage. So you guys could see him there. So again, you know, that's what I meant earlier about this being such a great homage to G1. You guys could see a lot of the detailing there with the siege, the comparison. Size-wise, he is much bigger. Then we'll bring in another similar. Here he is with the Netflix Soundwave. This was a bit more accurate to, I guess, the G1 without any of the battle damage that the other one just had. But again, some comparison there from size. Again, you could tell this almost, obviously, it seems like it's an evolution of what this guy is, right? Really cool. We'll move him aside. Then we have this Soundwave from, this is from the War for Cybertron video games. This is a line that was out a while back. A very interesting looking robot, but this guy had a really cool alternate mode. It was like a little, almost like a little minivan, battle van type thing. It looked really nice, which I thought that's something this guy could have done way better if he could transform into something similar like this guy did. But just showing them there for anyone that may be interested. This is a really old toy. And then we also do have, I have some of the other Bumblebee movie figures. So here you go. Here he is next to Ratchet. And Ratchet was a good size, so that's why when I saw this guy, I was like, holy, he is a pretty big unit. But there you go. There's some comparison there with him. Here he is next to Wheeljack, which again, he dwarfs Wheeljack. Pretty small guy in comparison. And then here's an even bigger gap. Here he is next to Brawn. And again, pretty small guy in comparison. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Overall, in regards to this toy, the robot mode is absolutely awesome. I think it's great that, again, with this whole Bumblebee movie line, they're able to recreate G1. I think also his companion Ravage in this mode is great. They go along really well together. Really cool. I think if you're getting I guess Soundwave specifically for his alt mode, it's not something I would recommend. Granted, I don't transform my transformers that much. I usually display them in robot mode, but when I do, it's nice to have a nice alt mode. I think in this case, I'm not crazy about the alt mode for Soundwave. Ravage kind of just transforms into a little box that goes into there. But the robot mode itself is really cool. I think if you're going for this mode, definitely it's something that it's worth while getting, if that's something you're interested in. We'll put them here to close the video with all the other sound waves there. But this guy is definitely a get if you're looking for a good robot mode for Soundwave from the Bumblebee movie. But other than that, thank you for your time. If you have, again, any questions, feel free to leave a comment. If not, enjoy the rest of your day. Be nice to each other and take care of yourself.